don't know why I'm filming this. Hi everyone, I am Mental Panda, and today I'm going to be doing Doctor Who review of Sleep No More. And this is the newest episode, obviously. So, before I get into that, I'm going to give a quick summary of what Doctor Who is. Then, after I do the review, I'm going to answer questions, about 5 of them, on like certain things like my favorite Doctor, well, not my favorite Doctor, but my first Doctor, and companions and my favorite companion, and stuff like that. So, Doctor Who started in 1963 and then ended in 1989, and then went on to become a film in 1996, and then was revised and brought back in 1990, 2005, and it's been on until now. Now, the main character that we see throughout the whole show is the Doctor. The Doctor is over 2,000 years old and is an alien from the planet Gallifrey. He is a Time Lord, and he goes around in a blue box called the TARDIS. And the TARDIS stands for Time in Relative Dimensions Space. And he also usually has a companion. At this point, it's someone named Clara. And they are traveling through space and time, going off on adventures. And the best way to describe Doctor Who is family, friendship, tears, lots and lots of tears, life and death situations where you don't even know if the Doctor will survive, and just all out fun, and the best adventure you'll ever go on with the Doctor or anybody. So that's kind of how I can describe Doctor Who without sounding like I'm a lunatic. So I'll get on to the review. So now, spoilers! And so, this episode of Doctor Who was a kind of found footage, and it was okay. It felt like a filler episode more than anything, and it consisted of the idea of the Sandman being the villain, where they were on a spaceship with a rescue crew that was supposed to save the crew that was on the original spaceship, and the only person that survived was this guy called Erasmus, or something like that. I really don't know how to pronounce it. Then when they find him, he seems like he's the only one left, and that he's been hiding from the creatures. So after that, they are pretty much like a normal Doctor Who episode. They're chased, they go off, and they figure out how to get off the ship. It also reminded me of the episode when Clara and the 11th Doctor were in the TARDIS, and they were being chased by themselves, their past selves, or their future selves, or whatever you want to call them. And it didn't really scare me or do anything. It just, like I said, looked like a filler episode. It was a good episode. I'm not usually big into found footage episodes, or really found footage anything, because usually it's running around, you can't see anything, and you can't tell what's going on half the time. I think Doctor Who did it pretty well in that regard. You usually could tell what's going on, and it wasn't a lot of just shaking of the camera and it was a lot of seeing through other people's eyes, which we learn in later in the episode that it's not just the cameras that the rescue crew have, it's also the little sleep in your eyes, which I found interesting, but again, it just didn't do anything for me. But you have this little sleep in your eye, and that's what's filming. So after they are going out and trying to save everyone, it doesn't really work. Only about 3 people survive, including Clara and the doctor, and everyone else doesn't survive, except also for Erasmus, or whatever you want to call him. And it was pretty much a basic Doctor Who episode, and I don't really know what to say about this episode. I was really hoping that for my first review that I would have something amazing to talk about, like last week's episode that I absolutely adore, especially the Doctor's speech. And so I guess I'll go into the questions that I have written up. Let's see. Who is my first Doctor? My first Doctor is 9, and that is played by Christopher Eccleston. He is an amazing actor, and I love him to death. And actually, if I think about it, I actually watched Doctor Who before I actually got into it. And my first Doctor that I think of is, I think I was 10. 10 was my first Doctor. And the reason why I say that 9's my first Doctor is because, and 9's my first Doctor because when I started actually watching it, I watched it from the beginning of the revised seasons, but a few years before that, my cousins had put it on TV, and I think the episode was, I want to say Blink, which I adore Blink, which obviously, Weeping Angels. So I usually don't say 10's my first Doctor because I only watched that first episode, well, not that first episode, but that episode, and I never really thought of watching it. I didn't even know what the show was up until I actually started watching it, and when I first started watching it, the episode Rose wasn't really the best episode, but I got through that, and I obviously became a Whovian. And so the next question, favorite companions, female and male. My favorite female companion, which is kind of not stereotypical, but kind of everybody's thing, except for maybe a few people, is Rose. I absolutely adore Rose. My other female favorite companion is Donna Noble. But Rose just has a big place in my heart. I absolutely adored her when everything happened, and she was always a strong female character, but obviously we don't get to see her very often, maybe for a special or something. But we're with half the companions. And my favorite male character is Jack Harkness. I absolutely love him. And I also watch Torchwood, which I can't get enough of, and I wish that they hadn't ended it where it did. Favorite villain. My favorite villain has to be... I want to say the Master is my favorite villain, but my favorite monster would be a Weeping Angel. Because I really can't say that Adipose is a monster, he's just a little fat. My favorite spinoff, like I said, is Torchwood. I do love the Sarah Jane Adventures too, but Torchwood, I just love the characters, love what they did with it. And favorite almost companion. My favorite almost companion is Osgood. I wish she said yes and gone with the doctor in the last episode. If she had, I would have been over the moon. She was one of my favorite characters. And who doesn't want a pretty much Whovian to be the companion? It would be us being with the doctor if she went. And then another one would be Sarah Jane's son. Who wouldn't want Sarah Jane's son to be a companion at one point or another? That would be awesome. So, if you guys have any questions about any of my other favorite things about Doctor Who, leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next episode or next video, which will be up on Tuesday. And I think I'm going to be doing these episodes every Sunday, because after each episode, unless it's a really good episode and I can't wait to do it, I'm going to be filming on Sundays and I'll be uploading on Sundays. So I guess I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!